betrayal, heartbreak, and a twist no one saw coming. Just when fans thought the drama between love and hip-hop, Atlanta's Kirk Frost, Rashida, and Jasmine Washington was finally in the rearview mirror. A bombshell has erupted that's shaking the entire franchise to its core. Kirk Frost has officially walked away from his decades-long marriage with Rashida, and the reason? Jasmine. Yes, that Jasmine. And if that wasn't explosive enough, brace yourself, Jasmine has just revealed that she's pregnant again. And this time, she claims the baby is without a doubt Kirk's. You can practically hear the gasps echoing across the internet. Sources close to the Frost family say the tension had been brewing for months. While Rashida worked tirelessly to rebuild their brand and family name, Kirk was allegedly sneaking around with Jasmine behind closed doors. And now, after everything Rashida forgave him for the cheating, the secret child, the Lizzie's, done this. Fans are stunned. Social media is in meltdown. And Rashida, she's not staying silent this time. But here's where things get even crazier. According to insiders, Kirk didn't just leave quietly. He packed his bags, stormed out of their shared home, and left behind a cryptic note that read, "I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing Jasmine." Rashida reportedly found the note after filming Wrapped for a new season teaser, and insiders say production immediately pivoted to capture her raw reaction: tears, anger, disbelief. Meanwhile, Jasmine, radiant and unapologetic, dropped an Instagram post hours later showing a blurry sonogram with the caption, "Round 2. #UMBOTHERED. #blessed." The comment section exploded. Some fans cheered her on, calling it a victory lap, while others dragged her for destroying a marriage. And Kirk, he's doubled down, appearing arm-in-arm with Jasmine at a private industry event just days later, flashing matching rings that have the internet asking, is a wedding next? So what really happened behind the scenes? Was this affair rekindled during filming? Did Kirk and Rashida have a blowout fight that pushed him into Jasmine's arms? Or was he secretly plotting this move all along? Stay tuned, because what happens next will leave you breathless, and we've got the full tea coming up. You won't believe how deep this betrayal cuts. Kirk Frost had always been a master at keeping secrets, or so he thought. For years, fans watched him balance a dangerously thin line between redemption and relapse. After his explosive affair with Jasmine Washington years ago, the world saw him crawl back to Rashida, groveling, apologizing, promising he'd changed. And for a while, it looked like he had. Rashida, ever the boss chick, held her head high and forgave him publicly. Together, they rebuilt their empire, brick by brick, even bringing Jasmine's child into the fold, something that took every ounce of Rashida's grace and inner strength. But behind closed doors, the scars never really healed. Resentments simmered. Trust was a fragile glass, always on the verge of cracking. And somewhere in the quiet moments when Rashida thought they had moved on, Kirk's old habits began creeping back in, slow, subtle, deadly. It started innocently, or so it seemed. Jasmine had reached out regarding their son, Cannon. She wanted more involvement. She wanted co-parenting boundaries respected. At least, that was the front. Rashida had been cautious but understanding. She encouraged Kirk to be present, to support Jasmine as a mother, but what she didn't realize was that every text, every phone call, every drop-off was reopening a door that should have stayed bolted shut. Kirk, always a man drawn to chaos in moments of calm, found himself enjoying the attention. Jasmine was flirty but not obvious. She played the long game, using motherhood as the excuse. And Kirk, he fell for it again. Old feelings rekindled, and the thrill of the forbidden reawakened something inside him he didn't even realize he missed. What fans didn't know until now was that things took a turn at a quiet family gathering in late spring. Rashida was busy hosting, managing guests, and being the center of attention as usual, while Kirk stepped out to take a quick call. That call was Jasmine. She was nearby, alone, needing help with a flat tire. At least, that's what she said. Kirk didn't hesitate. He left the party, claiming it was urgent business. And hours later, when Rashida noticed he hadn't returned, she called him, no answer. The next morning, Jasmine posted a story, a boomerang of her nails holding a bottle of wine, a man's watch in the background. Fans clocked it immediately. Was Kirk's? The internet blew up. But Rashida remained silent. She had no proof, only suspicion. And that's what drove her crazy. What came next was nothing short of a nightmare. Jasmine appeared at Frost Bistro, unannounced, and requested to speak to Rashida directly. Staff members were stunned. Security tried to intervene, but Rashida, curious and cautious, allowed her in. Behind closed doors, What was meant to be a civil discussion turned into a verbal war. Jasmine accused Kirk of leading her on, of making her believe there was still a chance. She said he promised her a future, that they had been together for months, sneaking off during press trips, meeting at private condos, even exchanging gifts. Rashida was floored. She didn't believe it, she couldn't, but Jasmine pulled out her phone and showed her messages, screenshots, voice notes, a picture of Kirk asleep in her bed just 2 weeks prior. Rashida's hands shook, her voice cracked, but she refused to cry, not in front of Jasmine. After Jasmine left, everything changed. Rashida confronted Kirk the same night. He denied nothing. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," he said, eyes low, voice shallow. "It just happened." Rashida exploded. Years of betrayal, forgiveness, and buried pain erupted. She screamed, slammed her phone against the wall, cursed him with every word she'd swallowed for the sake of peace. Kirk, surprisingly, didn't fight back. He didn't apologize. He just stood there. And in that moment, Rashida realized he wasn't sorry, he was tired, emotionally checked out, and so was she. Days later, the rumors got worse. Jasmine was seen at a prenatal clinic in Atlanta. She wore oversized clothes and walked with a visible bump. TMZ caught the photo and ran with it. Is Jasmine expecting again? Fans speculate Kirk may be the father again. Social media spiraled. Kirk went dark. No statements, no clarifications. Rashida, meanwhile, posted cryptic captions like "you can only break a heart so many times before it turns to stone." The tension was unbearable. And then it happened, the video that changed everything. Jasmine uploaded a reel, titled, "My Truth, My Child, My Choice." In it, she confirmed the pregnancy. She never said Kirk's name directly, but she didn't have to. She talked about being reunited with an old flame, healing the past, and building a future together, this time, the right way. And at the end of the video, a man's silhouette came into frame, tall, bald, unmistakable. It was Kirk. Fans lost their minds. The betrayal felt personal. How could Kirk do this, after all Rashida had endured for him? People flooded Rashida's page with support. Celebs chimed in. Even castmates from Love and Hip Hop began unfollowing Kirk and sending Rashida flowers. But the storm didn't stop there. Kirk, for the first time, posted a black and white photo of Jasmine holding her bump. Captioned, "Peace looks like this." No tags, no explanations. Just a message that confirmed what everyone feared: he wasn't coming back. And just like that, the House of Frost crumbled. Rashida packed her things and moved into her mother's place, taking only what she needed. The empire they built together, businesses, homes, partnerships, suddenly felt like cold, empty trophies. She filed for separation quietly, not wanting a media circus. But with fans and tabloids digging for every crumb, privacy became impossible. Cameras from Love and Hip Hop started rolling again, this time focusing on Rashida's heartbreak, her healing, her strength. But nothing could prepare viewers for what was about to unfold in the weeks ahead. Because while Rashida was trying to piece together her life, Kirk and Jasmine were planning something much more permanent. The whispers started: smaller tabloid here, a blog there. But soon, it was everywhere. Kirk and Jasmine weren't just playing house. They were allegedly engaged. Yes, engaged. According to multiple sources close to the couple, Kirk had proposed just 1 week after the pregnancy video dropped. And it wasn't some quiet, back alley moment. No, Kirk allegedly took Jasmine on a weekend getaway to Savannah, Georgia, where he rented out an entire rooftop terrace, complete with white roses, candlelight, and a saxophonist playing "If I Ain't Got You." The proposal wasn't caught on camera yet, but Jasmine reportedly showed off a massive oval-cut diamond ring at an exclusive industry baby shower the following weekend. The guest list included a few familiar faces from Atlanta's music scene, and though phones were mostly banned, one grainy leaked video showed her laughing, hand on belly, ring glinting as she sipped sparkling cider. That was all the internet needed to explode. Meanwhile, Rashida was still reeling. Not only had she lost her husband and business partner, but now the man she had stood by through every scandal, every humiliation, had made the ultimate move, starting over completely, as if their marriage meant nothing. According to a close friend, Rashida had entered a period of silent grief. She was staying off social media, refusing interviews, and focusing on her sons. But cameras continued to follow. In a leaked production still from the upcoming Love and Hip Hop season, Rashida can be seen standing outside Frost Bistro, tear-streaked, being comforted by her mother and longtime best friend, Kalena. Word is, the moment captured was her official decision to remove Kirk from the business. Legal documents were reportedly filed just days after, stripping him of all managerial control. As this unfolded, tensions rose behind the scenes. Cast members began taking sides. Scrappy, who had known Kirk for decades, posted a vague message on Instagram: "Loyalty ain't a one-way street." Bambi reposted it with a prayer emoji and the words, "Some folks forget where they came from." Sierra Gates, another franchise regular, showed up at Rashida's store with flowers and a camera crew in tow, telling her, "You didn't deserve this. Not again." The show's producers couldn't believe their luck. What started as a typical season quickly turned into the most emotionally charged arc in love and hip-hop history. And the ratings, already projected to be the highest in years. But while Atlanta was burning with gossip and betrayal, Kirk and Jasmine were plotting their next big move. Literally, insiders revealed the two had been house hunting in Buckhead, touring million-dollar properties for their fresh start. Jasmine, now visibly pregnant, had begun branding herself as a mother, entrepreneur, and survivor, working with a PR team to reshape her public image. She gave a carefully worded interview to Sheen magazine, where she said, "We all make mistakes, but love can heal wounds if you let it. I'm not trying to replace anyone. I'm just trying to live my truth." That one line sent fans into a frenzy. Replace anyone? Was she referring to Rashida? Was this her way of claiming a spot that never belonged to her? The comment section turned into a war zone. But perhaps the most shocking moment came at a live reunion taping. One that fans haven't seen yet, but we've got the inside scoop. According to multiple sources in the audience, Rashida and Jasmine came face to face for the first time since the pregnancy reveal. The tension was so thick, producers paused taping multiple times. Jasmine allegedly tried to extend an olive branch, saying she never intended to hurt Rashida, that her connection with Kirk just reignited naturally. Rashida, stoic at first, let her composure crack just once when she whispered, "I gave up everything to protect that man. And you let him burn it all down." The crowd gasped. Jasmine reportedly started to cry. Kirk, who was seated between them, stayed silent the entire time, not once looking Rashida in the eye. One fan who attended the taping said, "It felt like the end of a chapter. Like Rashida was finally letting go, but not without leaving a scar." Even Mona Scott-Young, the show's producer, looked emotional during the moment. And backstage, things got even more heated. Reports say Rashida confronted Kirk privately after the taping, cameras still rolling. She asked him one final question: "Was it ever real for you?" To which Kirk responded, "It was. Until I realized we were just business partners playing house." Those words, cold and surgical, cut deeper than any betrayal. Rashida walked away, refusing to let him see her cry. That moment, sources say, will be the emotional climax of the season finale. But the story doesn't end there. Because days later, Jasmine posted another shocker, a professional maternity shoot, complete with Kirk cradling her belly, both dressed in soft white, barefoot in a meadow. The caption read, "Second chances feel different when they're earned." Rashida didn't respond, but her fans did. Hundreds flooded Jasmine's post, calling it disrespectful, cruel, tone-deaf. Still, the likes rolled in. Supporters and haters alike couldn't look away. And while the world picked sides, Rashida quietly launched something new, a women's empowerment podcast called Rebuilt, From Wife to Warrior. The teaser clip, filmed in black and white, featured Rashida looking directly into the camera, saying, "I was loyal, I was patient, I was quiet. Until now." The internet roared with applause. Within 24 hours, the podcast reached number 3 on Apple's charts. Rashida had officially shifted from victim to voice. Yet, as powerful as that transformation was, fans couldn't shake the feeling that the final chapter hadn't been written. Because Jasmine's due date was approaching. And Kirk, he had one more surprise up his sleeve. The baby shower was supposed to be private and intimate gathering of close friends and family to celebrate Kirk and Jasmine's new chapter. But in the world of love and hip-hop, there's no such thing as private. Somehow, photos leaked, and not just grainy paparazzi shots, full-blown professional images. Jasmine, in a sheer white gown, belly painted with gold leaf. Kirk behind her, hands on her stomach, kissing her cheek. Matching outfits, matching smiles. It was the kind of aesthetic Rashida had once dreamed of sharing with Kirk during their early years. Now, those dreams had been handed off to the woman who nearly destroyed her marriage once, and completely obliterated it the second time. But what really sent the world into chaos wasn't the photos. It was the surprise appearance of Kirk's grown children, some of whom had stayed silent through the drama. Kai and Kelsey, both of whom had been vocal in defending Rashida in the past, were seen at the baby shower, smiling, laughing, and seemingly supportive of Jasmine. That twist stunned fans more than anything else. Had they switched sides? Was this a betrayal of their stepmother, or had they come to terms with the new family dynamic? Theories flew like wildfire. Some claimed they were paid to appear, others said they were simply tired of the drama and trying to keep the peace. But one thing was certain: Rashida felt the sting. Inside sources confirmed that Rashida broke down when she saw the pictures. Not because Kirk had moved on, but because the very children she had helped raise, who had once called her Queen Rashida on social media, were now posing with Jasmine like nothing had ever happened. It felt like being erased, she reportedly told a friend. And to make matters worse, the very next day, Jasmine posted a TikTok montage of the shower with the caption, "When the real ones show up, you know who's really down for you?" Fans saw it as a direct shot at Rashida and the comment section turned into a battleground. The drama didn't stop there. Rashida, still trying to take the high road, posted a quiet photo of herself at the gym, sweat pouring down her face, captioned, "Turning pain into power. Keep watching." That cryptic message was interpreted by fans as a sign she was ready to spill her own side of the story. And spill she did. A week later, Rashida sat down for an unfiltered interview with a popular black media outlet. For the first time, she spoke candidly about the betrayal, the pain, and her future. "You don't stay with someone for 20 years to become a footnote in their story," she said, eyes glistening. "I built an empire. I sacrificed. I forgave things most women wouldn't, and in the end, he chose easy over real." The internet erupted in applause. Celebrities reposted clips. Women from all walks of life left comments thanking Rashida for her strength. The full interview hit over 4 million views in 48 hours. And just when it seemed like Rashida was reclaiming her voice, Jasmine responded in the pettiest way possible. She dropped a music video. Yes, a music video. Titled First Lady. The video was a flashy, borderline disrespectful anthem that featured lyrics like, "You kept him cold, I gave him flame, now he's mine, you lost the game." The video included scenes that were thinly veiled references to Rashida. One featured a woman with a bob cut throwing wedding photos into a fire. Fans were divided. Some called it iconic. Others said it was the lowest blow yet. Even Mona Scott Young allegedly warned Jasmine about the potential backlash. But Jasmine didn't care. "Let them talk," she tweeted. "I'm living my best life." Meanwhile, Kirk remained oddly silent through all of this. No posts, no interviews, not even a tweet. But that silence ended the night of the Love and Hip Hop premiere, when he finally broke his silence with a 2-minute video on Instagram. Sitting in a dimly lit room, Kirk looked older, more tired. "I know y'all mad," he started. "And honestly, I understand. I've made mistakes. I hurt people. I broke hearts. But what you're seeing on TV is only half the story. There's a lot that went down behind the scenes. A lot I can't speak on. Yet." The yet sent fans spiraling. What didn't we know? What hadn't been shown? Insiders claim Kirk is working on a tell-all documentary, detailing his side of the story, including text messages, emails, and never-before-seen footage. Some say he's planning to expose truths about his marriage to Rashida that the cameras never caught. Whether that's a desperate attempt to salvage his image or a genuine bid to tell his truth remains to be seen. But what's undeniable is this: the Frost family saga has gone from reality TV to Greek tragedy. As Jasmine's due date neared, the pressure mounted. Rumors swirled that Rashida had received an invitation to the hospital delivery but declined. Others claimed Kirk planned to name the baby after himself, Kirk Jr., a slap in the face to his original family. None of this has been confirmed, but with cameras rolling and producers salivating, the next few episodes are guaranteed to be explosive. And in a final twist that nobody saw coming, Jasmine has been offered her own spin-off. Yes, you read that right. VH1 is reportedly in talks to launch a new show titled Just Jasmine, chronicling her journey as a mother, fiancée, and businesswoman navigating fame, motherhood, and the fallout of forbidden love. The offer is rumored to be a 6-figure deal, with shooting already underway. Fans are torn. Some say she's earned it. Others say it's rewarding bad behavior. But either way, The network knows drama sells and Jasmine is now the center of the most talked about storyline in love and hip-hop history. So, while Rashida rebuilds her life and Kirk settles into his new role as father again, the world watches, waits, and wonders, will this new chapter bring peace? Or just a new storm? The storm didn't wait long to strike again. Barely a week after Jasmine's spin-off announcement, the internet exploded with another bombshell. Kirk had been spotted at a late-night lounge in Midtown Atlanta with another woman, not Jasmine, not Rashida, a mystery woman. Tall, model-esque, dressed in black, and clearly not trying to hide. The two were photographed leaving together around 1:30 a.m. Kirk's arm around her waist as they entered a sleek black SUV. By morning, the photos had gone viral. Headlines screamed, "Kirk caught creeping again." And does Jasmine know? Social media, already exhausted from the ongoing saga, reignited with fury. Memes, reaction videos, and think pieces flooded every corner of the internet. Was Kirk ever going to stop? Jasmine remained uncharacteristically silent, fueling even more speculation. Was she in denial? Was this just another publicity stunt? Or worse, was she already aware of Kirk's philandering ways and choosing to look the other way? Fans demanded answers, and finally, they got one. In a carefully curated Instagram Live, Jasmine appeared in her living room, visibly pregnant, surrounded by flowers and baby gifts. With a calm yet icy tone, she addressed the rumors. "I've seen the photos. I'm not blind. But I'm not going to entertain every headline designed to break me. I'm focused on my baby, my peace, and my path. What Kirk does when he's not with me, that's on him." It was a diplomatic response, but fans weren't buying it. Commenters slammed her for being willfully blind and settling for the same pain Rashida went through, but others praised her composure. Still, behind that calm exterior, sources say Jasmine was livid. She reportedly confronted Kirk privately, and the argument was so explosive that security at their shared condo complex was called in to intervene. According to one insider, she was screaming. He was defensive. It got ugly. And cameras weren't there to capture it, which might have been a good thing. Meanwhile, Rashida was thriving in her comeback era. Her podcast had surpassed 10 million downloads, and she had just inked a new deal with a national fashion brand to create a line specifically for women. Rebuilding after heartbreak. Fans dubbed it the Rashida Renaissance. And her message was resonating far beyond Atlanta. Women across the country began using the hashtag built like Rasheeda to share their own stories of betrayal and resilience. She was no longer just a reality TV star, she was a movement. But peace was fleeting, even for Rashida. One morning, while filming an episode of her podcast, she received a legal envelope. Inside, a cease and desist letter from Kirk. The letter alleged that Rashida had defamed him on multiple episodes and requested she cease all defamatory remarks or face legal action. The audacity. Rashida, blindsided, paused filming and took a moment to collect herself. Then, in true Rashida fashion, she turned to the camera and said, "So now he wants to silence me. After everything. Let's talk about that." The episode that followed was raw, unfiltered, and went viral within hours. She read parts of the letter out loud, dissected the accusations, and broke down every moment of her relationship with Kirk, moments fans had never heard before. From emotional abuse to financial manipulation, Rashida laid it bare. "You don't get to break me and then police how I process it," she said. "You don't get to be the villain and demand the narrative favors you." It was a career-defining moment. Brands began reaching out. A book deal was reportedly offered. Rashida was soaring. But that success came with new consequences. Jasmine, feeling overshadowed and set up to fail, according to insiders, began spiraling emotionally. The pressure of being pregnant, in the spotlight, with a fiancé possibly cheating again and a baby on the way, was taking its toll. Friends close to her claimed she was feeling isolated, paranoid, and increasingly anxious. One even shared that Jasmine had broken down during a filming session of her spin-off, whispering, "Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I trusted the wrong man." Producers quickly shifted gears. The spin-off show, originally designed to showcase Jasmine's empowerment journey, began leaning into the mess. More tears, more fights, more late-night confessions. And in one shocking episode leak, Jasmine is seen visiting Rashida announced, again, but this time, she's not aggressive, she's apologetic. She sits across from Rashida, holding her belly, tears in her eyes, and says the words no one ever expected to hear, "You were right." The moment, raw and unscripted, left even producers speechless. Rashida, visibly taken aback, listens silently as Jasmine confesses that Kirk had been stringing her along, that he promised marriage, promised loyalty, promised a new life. And now, he was disappearing at night, lying, dodging calls. I thought I won, Jasmine says through tears, but now I realize I just became the next you. What followed was a moment of unexpected sisterhood? Rashida didn't gloat. She didn't throw it back in Jasmine's face. She simply said, "Welcome to the club." And for the first time, the two women saw each other not as rivals, but as victims of the same manipulator. The scene, when aired, would go on to become the most watched moment in love and hip-hop history. But the reunion was short-lived because the next day, Kirk went live. Yes, he went live. With no warning, no makeup, and clearly no PR coaching, Kirk sat in his car and unleashed a 20-minute rant. He blamed the producers, Rashida, Jasmine, the internet, and even the fans who think they know me. He denied cheating on Jasmine, denied leading anyone on, and most shockingly, he claimed he never wanted this baby. The internet lost its mind. Viewers were stunned. Jasmine, watching the live in real time, immediately unfollowed Kirk on all platforms. Rashida posted a single word on X, formerly Twitter. Wow. Fans demanded that the network cut ties with Kirk altogether. Petitions were started. Sponsorships pulled out, and behind the scenes, executives were scrambling. And just like that, the man who once had two women fighting for his love had none left standing by his side. Jasmine reportedly blocked Kirk's number and began preparing to raise her child alone. Rashida, with a new book, podcast, and brand deal, had long since turned the page. And Kirk, he was left with nothing but regret and a crumbling reputation. He could no longer spin. The final moments of the season promised to be legendary. The birth, the fallout, the aftermath. Fans are counting down the days, because one thing's for sure, this ain't your average reality TV drama. This is the Frost Empire. And it just froze over. The final chapter of this saga didn't open quietly. It burst onto the scene with a fury that no one, not even the most seasoned love and hip-hop viewers, could have predicted. It began with the birth. Jasmine went into labor earlier than expected, sending the production team into a frenzy. Cameras were already rolling for her spin-off. But what they captured that day was something raw, vulnerable, and brutally human. Alone in a private birthing suite, surrounded by just two close friends and a midwife, Jasmine delivered a healthy baby girl 7 pounds, 1 ounce, with tears streaming down her face, but not from pain, from heartbreak. Because Kirk wasn't there. He knew. Of course he knew. Jasmine's team had reached out. They sent messages, left voicemails, even tried calling Kirk's oldest daughter to make sure he was informed. But he didn't show. Not even a text. No congratulations, no flowers. Nothing. The silence from Kirk was so deafening, so deliberate, it became a headline in itself. Fans lashed out in real time. Jasmine's spin-off Instagram account was flooded with sympathy messages and furious pleas for her to never take him back. But it was Jasmine's own message that sealed the moment in cultural memory. A black and white photo of her cradling the newborn, captioned simply, "For her, I will never cry over him again." It was a rebirth for Jasmine and her daughter, but also a turning point in the narrative. Because while Kirk's absence at the hospital was shocking, it was what he did next that truly torched any remaining shred of public sympathy. Just 48 hours after Jasmine's delivery, Kirk posted a cryptic selfie with a bottle of champagne and a mysterious caption, "Sometimes the best decision is the one no one understands." The backlash was instant. Commenters called him heartless, selfish, disgusting. Even celebrity friends started unfollowing him publicly. VH1 issued a brief, carefully worded statement, distancing themselves from Kirk's comments and reiterating their support for Jasmine's bravery and strength as a new mother. In Hollywood speak, it was a clear message. Kirk Frost had officially become a liability. But Rashida wasn't done either. Riding the wave of her newfound voice and independence, she did what fans had long begged her to do. She filed for divorce, publicly, boldly. She posted a screenshot of the filing date with the caption, "Free, no added flair, no pity, just liberation." The reaction was electric. Within an hour, her name trended nationwide. Supporters celebrated. Even Jasmine, in a rare gesture of unity, liked the post. And then came the reunion episode 1 that would go down as the most watched in franchise history. Tensions were sky high as the cast took their places on the reunion stage. The energy was volatile. Fans, cameras, and even producers braced for chaos. Rashida entered in a white power suit, commanding the room with elegance and fire. Jasmine followed shortly after, holding her newborn in a soft pink carrier backstage. Choosing not to bring the baby into the pit of drama, but the real moment came when Kirk walked in. Booed immediately by the audience, he tried to keep his composure, offering fake smiles and waving, but the damage had already been done. Host Nina Parker didn't waste time. She dove in, asking Kirk the question on everyone's mind. Why weren't you there for your daughter's birth? Kirk's answer: a meandering mess of excuses. I wasn't in the right mental space. I didn't think it was appropriate. I didn't want to make things more complicated. The crowd jeered. Rashida shook her head. Jasmine stared into her lap, silent, and then Nina pressed further. So, was the baby a mistake to you? Kirk froze. He stuttered. He tried to pivot, but the damage was already done. That's when Jasmine spoke. Calm but cutting. You made me believe we were building something. You made promises. You played family. But when it mattered, when your daughter needed her father, you disappeared. I won't forget that, and one day, neither will she. It was Rashida, however, who delivered the final blow. Looking Kirk dead in the eyes, she said, "You didn't just lose me. You lost the only person who ever stood by you through every one of your messes. And now, you have no one left to blame but yourself." The audience erupted. Fans on social media declared it the most satisfying moment in reality TV history. Hashtags like #RASHEEDA deserves better and #Kirk is cancelled began trending globally. And as the credits rolled, producers slipped in a never-before-seen montage of Rashida's journey from her early heartbreaks to her current rise as a self-made icon. But even in the aftermath, Kirk's downfall continued. Sponsorship deals vanished. His social media presence plummeted. Rumors surfaced that he was facing financial strain, having been removed from the Frost Bistro business and possibly forced to sell off property to cover legal costs related to the divorce and potential child support. And Jasmine. She turned her pain into purpose. She launched a non-profit focused on supporting single mothers navigating public scrutiny. And the baby whom she named Hope became the centerpiece of her redemption arc. Meanwhile, Rashida signed a deal with a major streaming platform to produce a docuseries based on her journey from silence to strength. Tentatively titled From Frost to Fire, the series promises to expose even more truths about her relationship, her struggle with self-worth, and her ultimate transformation. Fans are eagerly awaiting the premiere, knowing full well that no matter what drama the future holds, Rashida's voice will never be muted again. And Kirk. He's become the cautionary tale no one expected. A man who had it all: fame, love, loyalty, and lost it chasing illusions. Now, all that remains are his echoes, his regrets, and a legacy that collapsed under the weight of his own choices. The final shot of the reunion captured it perfectly. Kirk, alone on stage, head in hands, as the lights dimmed around him, a king, dethroned by his own hand, a family shattered by his silence, a legacy burned to ash. This was the end of the Frost Empire, and the rise of something stronger in its place. So there you have it, the rise, the fall, and the devastating aftermath of one of reality television's most shocking love triangles. From Rashida's quiet grace to Jasmine's painful awakening, and Kirk's total implosion, this saga wasn't just about cheating or betrayal. It was about identity, growth, and the brutal price of deception. Fans who watched Kirk navigate scandal after scandal never imagined he'd go this far, abandoning his wife, standing up a pregnant woman at the hospital, and trying to silence the very women who made his name relevant. And now, with Rashida stepping into her power, and Jasmine forging a path of her own, Kirk's once glorified empire lies in ruins. But one question still remains. Has Kirk truly hit rock bottom, or is there another twist waiting in the shadows? Will Jasmine stay firm in her decision to move forward without him? Will Rashida's docuseries finally reveal all the untold truths we never saw behind the scenes? Or could Kirk, against all odds, attempt one last comeback to salvage what's left of his broken legacy? Now we want to hear from you. Was Kirk always this calculated, or did fame and ego swallow him whole? Do you think Jasmine deserves forgiveness, or was she always complicit in Rashida's pain? And can Rashida's story inspire other women, trapped in toxic cycles, to finally choose themselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every single one, and if you haven't already, Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into reality TV's wildest scandals, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss an episode. This has been one for the books, but trust us, the tea never stops spilling here. Until next time, keep watching. Because this drama, it's far from over.